Good morning, everyone. Okay, I'm going to get on a little bit before 7. I hope you all had a good weekend. All right, so I did have some feedback that my volume was a little low. I'm working on that, checking all the settings. So please let me know in the chat. I'll speak a little bit louder as well. Please let me know in the chat if the volume is audible or too low. I would really appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you to the person who left me that feedback. Very much appreciated. I am very open to all constructive feedback, and that is incredibly helpful. Because if nobody can hear me, what's the point, right? Okay, so also one of my viewers had left a comment in a chat about continuation stocks, and it looks like we actually have one. So I don't have the time to go back and look and see who it was, but if you end up watching this live stream video after the fact, JDZG is on the scanners, and it is a continuation stock from Friday afternoon. News came out Friday afternoon at, let's see, at 5 p.m. with earnings news. Revenue increased 37% year over year. And my response about continuation stocks was that I have had mixed results. And to be honest, that's more my instinct because I just started tagging my setups a couple of weeks ago. But I believe that I've had mixed results. And let's see, IMA just popped up. And I'll get back to that topic in a minute, but to just finish that up, I did say that I do believe that's a more intermediate to advanced setup. Okay, IMA popped up. It has news, announces $30 million private placement. This was a very popular headline a couple of months ago. The price is between $1 and $10. The float is under 20 million. That's good. The relative volume is through the roof. That's good. It's gapped up more than 10% from the previous day's close. So this is one for me to watch. IMA. This has something that JDZG doesn't have. It has breaking news. 7 a.m. breaking news. Okay, so it is heading up. This week I am only trading bull flag pullbacks and micro pullbacks. But only the micro pullbacks if they're obvious, and only if I use the 10-second chart as confirmation, which I have to add to my screen, because I can see it, but I want you to be able to see it. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. That's my actual scanner. Let's see. This one? Is this it? Nope, that's not it. Let me see if I can fix it. In the meantime, okay, let's do that after. Because right now it's pulling back. Okay. On the, I'm going to put this in here. IMA, it's pulling back for potential bull flag pullback. Okay, I'm going to look at 500 shares. I'm looking for, let me see if I can get in. There we go. Okay, so it's pulling back. There is a bull flag pullback. Okay. see. It's pulling back, pulling back. Okay, so now it's pulled back below VWAP, which I don't like. The top of the low candle is right here at 621. Okay, it's touching the 9 EMA here, but it's gone a little bit below that. On the daily chart, we have potential resistance with the simple moving average at $8.72. It's popping up, but I'm really leery because it's below VWAP. So I won't take it because, okay, let's take a look here. What's the situation here? Okay, I love these biotech stocks. I'm not going to take it because the price, I don't want to take it unless the price breaks above VWAP, which it is doing now, but I would want confirmation that it's above VWAP with a candle closing above VWAP. Just don't trust that, to be honest. That makes me a little nervous. So in this case, I might wait for a second pullback, okay? Because on the 10-second chart, it's pulling back a little bit. Yeah, I don't love that, you know? See, I've been burned so many times by just getting excited. Oh, I want to trade, but I'll wait for a second pullback where the price is confirmed above VWAP. And VWAP is this yellow line here. I do have a video about VWAP on my channel, so please go check that out. Well, am I glad I didn't take that trade? Let's see, ALMU is popping up, but that is above $10. It's not above 20, but I like to stay under $10 unless it is just the most obvious stock. I've done well on stocks between $10 and $20. I've done really well, but I've also done very poorly because it eats up a lot of my available trading funds. And I trade in a cash account. So once I'm done for the day, I'm done for the day. So if I trade a stock that is, if I take 500 shares of ALMU, I'm using $6,000. And if that goes badly, it's difficult for me to recover because I have less settled funds left. So that looks crazy choppy. But the news is good. ALMU announces contract awards of over $4 million from the U.S. government to accelerate scaling of its semiconductor. I like government contract news. Why isn't this letting me click here? I don't know why it's not letting me. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see the news for this. The awards directly support ALMU's commercialization strategy while deepening relationships with government stakeholders and manufacturing partners. Scaling wafer production and fabrication with Tower Semiconductor and Sumitomo, blah, blah, blah. Further positions. Okay, so it sounds like they got a government contract. That is in my former life. I did government contracts for the U.S. government. So I do like government contract news because I know what value that really brings to the company in terms of cash flow. But in this case, look at this. It's very choppy. Let's look at the other indicators. Let me just make this smaller so I can see my charts here. I mean, everything looks good on ALMU. Let's see, the float is under 20 million. The relative volume is more than 5 times the 50-day average. It's gapped up more than 10% from the previous day's close. But it just looks choppy. It's an ugly looking chart to me. And also, if you notice here, yes, the price went up to $12.40. We have some resistance with the 200 SMA here. I mean, this could look good. All right, IMA. Now, I'm glad I didn't take this trade here, because this would have been a false breakout right here. Okay, I was looking at this pullback, but I mean, I guess you could say it's a little bit of a breakout. So if I had bought here, 631, I mean, I could have got 10 cents a share, but I feel like that would have been, I don't like taking it when it's right at VWAP. And right here, it's instead of green candles going up, you have red candles going up. I don't like that. I'm being very, very picky. The market is not cooperating lately. Let's see, how is the stock market doing today? Let's just check, see what Gemini says. Well, this is not great news. The U.S. stock futures fell sharply early Monday, April 13, because futures are often driving the overall market sentiment. So that's not great. As geopolitical tensions flared following the breakdown of U.S.-Iran peace talks and an announced blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so I'm going to be very cautious today. I had a red day last Monday, 3 small green days, and then a no trade day. I'm going to be very cautious today. IMA is still on my scanner, and it's broken above VWAP, and the MACD is green, but I would want to see confirmation of at least one candle above VWAP. I didn't like this here. Okay, I'm going to be very cautious because I am barely green on the month, and my record is clean for this week, right? It just started. I want to be green on the week. I want to be green on the day, green on the week, green on the month, and I'm barely green on my month. So I am going to protect my green, my barely green month like a mama bear. And okay, so it's broken above VWAP. Okay, let's take this off. This drawing. Okay, I like to use, if you want to use drawings on Thinkorswim, just click here on drawings, and it gives you drawing tools. It gives you all these cool little options. You can do diagonal lines for support and resistance. I like to do the price line, this one right here. Just runs the line straight across. I like to do that. Okay, so it looks like it might have a pullback again, but what I don't like about this is that it didn't go above the high of day. So is this the back side of the move? Or is it a sort of ABCD pattern? I'm going to be honest, I have not traded ABCD setups and patterns. I'm going to wait for some clean price action. And, oh, welcome. I see some people in the chat this morning. Let me know if my volume's okay. I've had some issues with volume. Please give me constructive feedback if my volume's okay today. Let me know in the chat. I've had issues with volume, and I played with the settings on my app that I use to stream. Okay, so we do have another pullback, but we're stair-stepping down. It looks like this level here. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for something good to come along. I'm going to be a counter striker today, okay? I'm not going to be a pressure fighter. I'm going to be a counter striker. So I'm going to wait for the opportunities to come to me and then strike, okay? That's my style. So this is a small bull flag pullback here. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm missing this move. I am missing it. I should have got in right away if I was going to take this, but I didn't love it. Let's see if it taps high of day. Maybe I'm being overly cautious. Did you take this trade? Maybe I'm being overly cautious. This is a bull flag here. You can see the price starts to come back. Maybe it's more of a micro pullback. Let me take a look at my 10-second chart. So, yeah, I mean, that was a move. Now it's tapping the high of day. Good morning. Okay, so now it's tapping high of day. Oh, I know I'm being maybe overly cautious. I'm not going to make anything today if I don't get in the game, but I think if it breaks this high of day level, then I will feel comfortable getting in on this. So the news is that they announced they entered a definitive securities purchase agreement with certain institutional investors and a private placement. That was like a really hot headline a couple of months ago. The thing is, it's an agreement for something to happen in the future. It's still news. It's news. This stock still meets my criteria for stock selection, but it's not something that actually happened yet. Am I being overly picky here? I prefer to, you have to evaluate the quality of the news, and it's okay. Oh, now we have another pullback here. Now, is it going to just keep tapping high of day or break out? Is it going to break out? Is the volume here? If the volume confirms that it's going to keep going up, I might get in. This candle here, this candle, because this would be a micro pullback, right? And it's on the 5-minute, I mean the 10-second, it looks like it's fighting that level. This volume bar hasn't gone up any further. I'm waiting for this volume bar to show me confirmation to go above this level. I'm not seeing it yet, and we're about halfway through the candle. So we have about 15 seconds left on this candle, and it looks like we're hovering right around high of day. So on the daily chart, there's a window up to 763, and the simple moving average is at 867, 872. So we have room to go until we hit the simple moving average on the daily chart. I don't see resistance anywhere else. Okay, so this was a bit of a false breakout over 7. Maybe this is going to be a whole dollar, half dollar setup instead. All right, so it's pulling back. You can see the volume bars are pulling back, right? We've double tapped right around 7. This one was at, so I'm looking for a break of this level 7. Tapped right 7 twice. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for a break of 7. The volume is pulling back. The candles are pulling back. So now this is the low candle here, right? 673. So we do have more than 10 cents between the top of this low candle and the high of day. MACD is still green, even though it's kind of closing up a little bit. That's because of the pullback, I think. Good call. Today can be very tough with all the geopolitical headlines. Yes, Czar Trader, absolutely. So much going on in the world, and I am being cautious about that. 100%. Yes. I mean, I feel like, okay, so now the low candle is down here. We're at another low candle, about 669, but I'm going to want to see volume confirmation. Okay, now it's popping up on the 10-second chart. It popped up, but see this volume candle hasn't gone above this volume candle. I'm going to wait, which might be getting in a little late, but I'm going to wait until the volume candle has given me confirmation. All right, now I'm getting in, and I missed it. Oh, no, I got it. Okay, so, oh, it's dropping, it's dropping, it's dropping, popping up. I got in a little too late, and I have to sell because it hit my stop. Okay, I got in too late. Bummer. Got in too late. I waited for the volume confirmation, and I got in too late. And it hit my stop of 10 cents a share. So I had to get out. I had to get out. That is my rule. And it did tap high of day again. But look at this topping tail. This could signal a reversal. That could signal a reversal. Okay, so am I being too cautious by selling right when it hits my stop? I don't think so. I have been burned a lot, and I would rather have a red trade than, I would rather lose 50 bucks than 200. I've been burned so many times. Oh my. All right, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to export that trade. All right, let's go back to the charts. I'm going to export that trade, and I am going to put this into my Trader View. I'm going to import it. Trader View is the app that I use to track my trades. I'm now an affiliate, so you don't have to use an app to track your trades. You can do it in a Google spreadsheet. However, it is really, there's a lot more features, obviously, in a, let's see, today. That was a really bad trade I took last year. Okay, so let's look at, no, clear filter. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let me move this out of the way. Whoops, nope. Let me move this out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my initial risk in, which was $50, and I'm going to tag the setup. Okay, and I'm going to put a note here. I'm going to say got into high. So that way when I go back to look at my trades later, I know what I did wrong. Okay. So I got in a little too high, I think. That's my opinion. If anybody else wants to offer an opinion, I would be super happy to listen to it. I really welcome any and all feedback on my trades, but here I got in too late. Now look at this. The MACD was still technically green, but it looked like it was about to flip. So this right here, I guess you could call it a false breakout. And then here it's pulling back again. Now it's popping up again, but the MACD is red, and I will not trade when the MACD is red. So I would rather have a red trade and stick to my rules. My rule is that if the price hits my stop, I get out no matter what. No matter what my intuition is telling me, no matter what my feelings are telling me, because I have just been burned way too many times. And then I'm holding on to a bag, praying, waiting, holding, and then I have to sell the next day at an incredible loss. So this hurts because this puts me red on the day, red on the week, red on the month. But I would rather do that and stick to my plan, because sticking to my rules is the only thing I can control. So is my stop too tight? Maybe my stop is too tight, but I feel like in this climate, we should have tight stops. Please let me know what your opinion is on that. Please, please, please. All right. Well, I'm glad I sold because let's see, when did I get, what price did I get in at? I got in at $6.90, okay? And it just touched that. The best I could have done is break even. So now it's sort of following along the 9 EMA, but the MACD is red. I will not get in with the MACD red. So today might be a red day, folks. I don't know. I'm being really conservative. I think I made a good call taking the trade, but I think I made a better call getting out of it. Okay. So this is what a cold market feels like. It's chilly out here, folks. It's chilly. Let's see. Let's look at some of the other stuff. JDZG had popped up right before the open. Well, not the open, right before 7 a.m. So that's still the pre-market. I'm curious, does anybody trade between 4 and 7 a.m.? I have a Webull account and I will be doing some trading in that, but I haven't quite got the hang of Webull yet. So next week I am going to be traveling. Yes, I'm traveling to Prague in the Czech Republic. And I'm leaving Sunday night. So I will be doing all of my trading from Prague. I do have a layover in Germany on either end, actually. So I'll be trading in wacky places and documenting that. I will be live streaming as much as I can. I have traded on all my vacations since I started trading last year, but I have not live streamed on my trading during my trading on my vacations. So it will be the first time that I attempt that. I do have some educational content to post in case that goes badly. So I will be posting every day regardless. I will post something every day, but even if it's just walking around Prague with my friend that I'm traveling with and checking out some of the sites. So, but I have traded on all my vacations since I started trading last year, and it's been pretty good, even with time changes. And I don't travel a lot, but I travel multiple times a year. And my goal is to be able to trade on when I travel. So circling back to what I was saying about Webull, one of my goals for learning and getting good with Webull is to be able to trade between the hours of 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give myself more options when I'm traveling. I realize the trading volume is lower. However, I want to give myself more options. So I might be trading on my Webull account on my trip, but I will be trading with paper money because I have a very small account over there. And And if you're new, please start with paper money or a simulator. I use Warrior Trading scanners. They're very good. And he has a simulator as well. But you can also Thinkorswim, Webull, they all have simulators. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I do travel multiple times a year, and my goal is to trade when I travel. So I'll be posting content on Sunday. I'll show you what I'm packing for my trip as far as my travel trading station. I have an external monitor, and I think all of that is going to evolve as I evolve as a trader, right? So I'm new. I consider myself a new trader. I've only been trading for about a year, and I'm not consistently making enough money to live on it just yet. I feel like I'm on the cusp of that in terms of my skill level and my understanding. I feel like I'm about to turn the corner on that, but the market is terrible. So I'm hoping when the market picks up, that will help me turn that corner. But I was having some great luck last year without knowing enough. So I traded with paper money for the first couple of months. I started trading with real money in July. I should have waited and traded with paper money longer. Please, please, please do that, okay? And when I'm learning something new, like a new setup, or I'm going to be learning how to trade on Webull, I will be trading with paper money. I'm not willing to risk real money when I'm learning something new. I'm pretty risk averse in that way, so I will be using paper money when I trade with Webull, if I trade with Webull on my trip. But I don't know, I might have to trade from the airport, which I've done before, but I've never live streamed from an airport. Is that allowed? Is that legal? I don't know. I should probably look that up. Okay. So let's see, JDZG did pop up right before 7 a.m. So it was still pre-market, but the pre-market. And it had news Friday afternoon. So this was a continuation stock, I guess you could call it. And it had good news at 5 p.m. on Friday. But however, market opened and it just tanked. ALMU also popped up. It met my 5 pillars of stock selection, but look at how choppy this is. This is so choppy. Actually, I'm going to fix my chart here because I added something. Let me remove that. It's cluttering up my little chart here. So the overall volume on ALMU is very low, the total volume, right? So the total volume, look at that, it's 130,000. There's just not enough action happening to drive the price up consistently. I wouldn't trade this. Look at how little action there is going on the low, and look at how big the spread is. Wow. So if you get in on ALMU, say I bought on the ask at $12.92, and then I wanted to sell it, I'm going to take like such a big loss. Oh, so I don't know. I guess we can watch that. IMA, that's the one I traded and took a red trade on. Okay, it tapped 7 a.m. So this is clearly resistance, right? On IMA, $7 is clearly resistance. And I guess if I were going to look for another entry on IMA, let me see. Let me try to, can you see the chart? Here we go. If I was going to look for an entry on IMA, first of all, the MACD is red, so I wouldn't get in on it unless the MACD was green. So the MACD's been red since way back here. However, if the MACD was green, I might look for a breakthrough that point. That maybe you could call that a flat top breakout or a break of the whole dollar. And I've traded both of those setups. But again, I've had mixed results. I have had the best results with a bull flag pullback. Except today, IMA, here, this was a, I mean, if I had been quick on it and I hadn't gotten in so late, I got in late because I was being very cautious with the volume candle. And I wanted the volume candle to get above this level here. And when it did, I kind of fumbled getting in, right? I fumbled the ball. Fumbled the ball. Oh, the rest of the team's mad. Okay, so, and then but I did get out right at my stop. Okay, so I did get out right at my stop. If we go back to Trader View, which is the, you can see that so for every trade in Trader View, I upgraded to the gold plan recently, which allows me additional features. So now I can put in my initial risk. I was risking 10 cents a share. I was only willing to risk $50 on that. Okay. And to be honest, I actually lucked out on this, because when the price was down 10 cents a share, I clicked sell on the bid and it actually popped back up, and I only lost $24.55, which means that my loss is half of what I was willing to risk. That's actually not a bad situation. So I think I made a decent decision getting in on that trade. However, I made a great decision on when to get out, and then I lucked out on top of that. So I really want to divorce my decision from the result. Okay, so let's look at the chart. Oh, nothing's popped up yet. It takes some time for, we'll look at it later. I'll probably look at it in the recap later. I'll do a recap later. But, you know, it keeps track of commissions and fees, and I have my 1 minute chart, my 5 minute chart, and my daily chart on here. Eventually, it takes time for the data to build up over the day, but it will give you your trade running P&L and the day running P&L. And it tells you exactly how many shares you got at what price. So I bought my shares in 3 orders, but it was the same price. And then this shows the trade leaving at $6.85. Okay. So like I said, you don't have to pay for something. You can, but please track your trades. You can do it in a Google Doc, okay? But track your setups. I wish I had done that way sooner. Wow, that has been a game changer. I feel so silly that I wasn't tracking my setups. Of course, I had heard lots of advice to do that, but there's just so much to learn when you're new to trading. And to be honest, I was just overwhelmed in the beginning. I'm starting to get a lot less overwhelmed. I still miss things though. And let's see. So, but you should definitely track something. If you are interested in Trader View, I now have an affiliate link. It'll be in the description below, but you know, you don't need to pay for something. It has a lot of cool features, but when you're first starting out, just use a Google Doc and make sure you track your setups. That would be my big piece of advice. I don't know. What are you guys drinking this morning? I quit caffeine 2 months ago. I was jittery, and I feel a lot less jittery. So I've got my chai rooibos here. But I still need the ritual of having like a hot drink in my hand. I literally don't think I could sit down to trade without a hot drink in my hand. I might die if that happened. Okay, so not much is popping up. We've had a few other things pop up, but they look like under $1, which I don't trade. FUSE popped up. Let's see what that is. while I was chit-chatting, but I don't see breaking news, and I will not trade without breaking news, especially in this market. Okay, today looks like a bummer, and I already started off with one red trade, so I am not taking a trade without news unless it was like the most obvious stock. I mean, if it's so obvious, maybe, but today looks like a bummer day in the market, so let's be cautious. Okay, let's be really cautious about it. And I'm looking for a stock to meet my 5 criteria for stock selection. I follow Warrior Trading's 5 pillars of stock selection. I've taken his classes. He's very good. I follow him and I use his scanners. So let's see. What else are we looking at? FUSE doesn't make the cut, people. Doesn't make the cut. Okay. DEVS and RMSG also popped up, but those are under $1. And I don't trade stocks that are under $1. And I don't see news. Let's see. I don't see news. This says there are stocks trading pre-market, but what? There's no actual news. So this doesn't meet my criteria for stock selection, and also it's under $1. It's just hard to make, and for me to make money on stocks under $1. It has to make a really big move, which it did here. Look at this. It flipped to green. The MACD flipped to green is what I'm talking about. If you don't understand the MACD, I have a video that I did on the MACD. I think it came out yesterday. And it's good to understand what it is. I had some major misunderstandings about the MACD. So if you're confused about it, check out my video on that. But in a nutshell, green is good. Green means go, red means no. So I don't trade if the MACD is red. I've been burned too many times. But here you can see that RMSG did make a good move here. This is a nice solid move up. And you know, if I had taken this trade, I would have been able to get 10 cents a share. But yeah, I've been burned. Good morning. Hi, HG. Good morning. Welcome. So yeah, I mean, I don't like the fact that stocks under $1 have to make a really big move in order to get 10 cents a share. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 10 to 20 cents a share, but I'm okay with a bunch of 5 cents a share moves. I'm not looking for, I don't think 10 cents a share is a home run. I mean, when it's a good market, like when the market was better and I didn't know what I was doing nearly as much as I do now. And it's crazy. Trading is so crazy because the more I learn, the less I know. And the more I realize it's about the fundamentals, right? Just stick to the fundamentals. Don't do anything crazy. Don't do anything, wacky. I don't think 10 cents a share is an unreasonable expectation in a good market. I'm okay scalping 5 cents a share off of a bunch of trades, but it just doesn't feel like there's enough going on in the market today to do that. And it's kind of crickets. So, yeah, crickets and tumbleweeds today. But I won't take a nap or anything. What I do when the market is slow is I do analyze my trades and look at where I'm at. So let's take a look at my trade review. I only have one trade this morning and it is red, which is a bummer. However, honestly, it could have been much worse. Okay, now, because today's Monday, this is also my weekly Monday. Whatever happens on Monday sets the tone for the week, right? So now I'm red on the week. But if we look at the month, no, this month. If we look at the month, I'm now up 97 cents. I am still green on the month. I'm taking that. I'm taking that L. No, the win. I'm taking the W. I'm taking the W. So, that's so sad. Oh my God, 97 cents. But hey, it's not red. I am telling you, this is a rough market. This is really rough. And if we can survive in this market, then I do think that when it picks up, we'll be able to thrive, right? So that's the game. And let's work on our basic trading skills. So yes. Oh wait, let me move this window. I'm sorry. So you can see that for the month, I'm up 97 cents. That's not even like a Dunkin' Donuts tea, right? Can I get a donut? I don't know. Okay. So, my largest gain so far has been $205.80. My largest loss has been $151. And my accuracy is only 50%, which is terrible. Terrible. My accuracy for the year is like 70%. My accuracy has been in the toilet this month. Wow. 50%. That's bad for me. My average winning trade was $62.53 and my average losing trade was $62.48. Interesting. Okay. I will go over in a video what the MAE and the MFE are. I'm going to do a video about that because I have a basic understanding. It has something to do with how far up your trades go before you get out of it and how far down they go. But I'm going to do some videos on that so I can understand it better. You can see that by a mile, Mondays are my worst day. And look, I'm red today. What a bummer. But still green on the month. I'm taking that 97 cents and I'm running with it. I'm so excited about it. It's crazy, right? All right, so you can see that Mondays are my worst day. So I am being very cautious today. Okay, we have something that popped up, AIFF. Let's get rid of some of this mess here. AIFF. I have traded this recently. Okay, I've traded this recently. With brain scan volume momentum accelerating, Firefly makes history by building the world's first known $200,000 plus standardized EEG ERP depository. That sounds like good news. I like biotech. The price is between $1 and $10. The float is 9 million, so it's under 20 million. Let's see, the relative volume is well above 5 times the 50-day average, and it's gapped up 16% from the previous day's close. Well, folks, I think we might have a potential, we might have something going on here. So let me put this on my 10-second chart. All right, so I'm looking for a bull flag pullback. I will trade a micro pullback if I see confirmation on the 10-second chart. That's my goal for the week. Every week I set a goal, and my goal for the week is to work on micro pullbacks and only take micro pullbacks inside the 1-minute candle if I see the confirmation on the 10-second chart. You can hear more about my weekly goal. I posted in Substack this morning. All right, so it's pulling back, but it's below the VWAP. It's below VWAP. Not liking that. Let's see. ALMU popped up again. The volume's increasing. Oh, it broke out. It broke out. I mean, that has really good news. So I think we should keep that on our list. Look at that. It broke out. The MACD was red and then it broke out. Wow. Okay. And it's pulling back. That could be, I like the news. AIFF also seems to have like awesome news. And this is a more affordable price for me. I can trade more if I take stocks at a lower price because I trade in a cash account. So if I take a trade on ALMU at this point, it is it's going to cost me more in funds, but at the same time, if it's a green trade, it could make a bigger move. Let's see. They both have good news. And this one is above the 9 EMA and above VWAP. So let's look for quality over quantity. AIFF is below VWAP. So I'm going to go back to ALMU. Now, it tapped 1446 and up here, the simple moving average is at 1524. So there is resistance at 1524. Yeah, there's resistance on that. Now this is the top of the low candle. This is a 30-cent difference. So there's an opportunity to easily make 10 cents a share on this. But I would want to see confirmation with volume. Now this is the top of the low candle here. It's popping up. I'm getting in and it already hit my stop, so I have to get right out. Yep. Oh, look at that. I didn't wait for confirmation with the volume bar. I screwed up. See that? It popped up, but I didn't wait for confirmation with the volume bar. And that was my goal last week, to wait for confirmation with the volume bar. And it hit my stop, so I had to get out. I had to. I made that promise with myself that I wouldn't hope and pray. I would do the right thing. Yep. Did I set my stop too tight? I don't know. Did I? Maybe I did. Here, it looks like it's creeping up. What do you think? Did I set my stop too tight on a higher price stock? Should my stop be more? I don't know. I promised myself I would get out. So I don't know. I think I made the wrong entry, but I made the right exit, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to add this to my trader view. This is turning out to be another bummer Monday. This is really hard to do live. I'm telling you. Wow, this is hard to do live. Okay, so if we go to my trader view, I'm going to import my trade. All right, and let's take a look at the damage. Let me put today. I like to focus on just that day. Now I've got 2 red trades. If I have a third red trade, I'm out for the day. Let's see, bull flag pullback. All right, so my I did get out right at my stop. Luckily, I clicked It's just one of those days. I think it might be. I think it might be just one of those days. I think so. Yeah, I think it might be one of those days, Czar, because the market's not great. So if I see something good and I take it, I'm going to say though that I didn't wait for the confirmation. Let's see. Why am I not typing properly? Didn't wait for volume bar confirmation. So I always write a little note about what I did. And sometimes I put a note if I did something good. So I remember that as well. But later when I do my recap, which will be filled with sorrow. Okay, so I didn't wait for confirmation on that volume bar. I jumped the gun, which probably would have been fine in a better market. But live TV, folks. There's no crying in trading. Okay, like no crying in baseball. All right, so now I'm down $73.83, and I'm clearly down on the month as well. Bit of a bummer, but okay. We're going to keep our heads up, okay? And I do try to, I'm looking at things in the context of the bigger picture. So obviously 2 red trades, and the market being where it is, I'm going to be extremely cautious about taking any more trades. Okay, however, I also want to look at trade by trade. Okay, so for the first one, I got in too high, all right? And the second one, I didn't wait for the volume pullback. So here you can see that there were things within my control that I did on each of these trades that in a better market, it would have been, a better market would be so much more forgiving, right? So much more forgiving. But in this climate, not forgiving at all. Okay, so AIFF just never really popped back up above VWAP, and the MACD is red. So I wouldn't have taken a trade on that anyway. Now ALMU did end up making a move, and I missed it because my stop was tight. Did I make a mistake on that? I don't know. Maybe the action on this is choppy because, like I said, the total volume is only 1 million. So maybe I made a mistake here. Maybe my stop was too tight. I don't know. I missed the whole move, right? I got in here. Well, but I was getting in. No, so I didn't really miss the move, right? I got in here. It broke out and rejected. And I think I got out at the right time because I would have been holding down to here. No, that would have been absolutely stressful. This was a little bit, so I think this is an ABCD pattern. I think so. Let's see. I think this is an ABCD pattern, and here, if I had waited for volume confirmation, I wouldn't have taken this trade. I think that's what I think. I think that's my mistake. And you know what I love about doing this live and live streaming is that I am held accountable. Okay, when I was home by myself trading, it was easy to brush the mistakes off and not really analyzing them, but you guys are keeping me accountable. And I think that if I had waited for volume confirmation, I never would have got it, and I wouldn't have taken the trade. And then it would have dropped down here, and then I might have taken this move here. Well, no, I wouldn't have taken this, would I? Because no, that MACD would not have been green. So I wouldn't have taken a move here. Now here, you could call this a micro pullback. But see how this volume bar has not gone up? I'm gonna sit out. I'm gonna sit out. I've got 2 red trades. I am going to, let's see, let's put ALMU on my 10-second chart. I'm gonna wait. So my goal for this week was to work on my micro pullbacks, but since I have 2 red trades for the day, I am not going to take a micro pullback. I am going to only take bull flag pullbacks. So this here would have been a micro pullback, right? And the breakout would have been at about 1476. And I could have gotten 10 cents a share here, but I'm being really cautious now. I'm going to just take a step back and be really cautious. I've got 2 red trades. It's a Monday. I have a terrible track record on Mondays. I don't know. Does anybody else have like a day that seems to just fall apart for them? Maybe I shouldn't trade on Mondays. Is that what the universe is telling me? Okay. So now it looks like we have another pullback, but feeling very cautious. Am I going to be the one person who didn't make a profit on ALMU today? I might be. I might be that one person. There's always somebody who's like, everybody else is making money on something and you're not. So let's see. Right now we have a high of day, and look at this. The simple moving average is at 1501. So it tapped, that's resistance. So, but there's a window over here up to $20.67. So now it's pulling back. So this would be the top of the low candle. Whoops, made that a little low. Let's make this a little bit bigger. This is the top of the low candle. What's popping up? RECT. Let's look at that. RE, but it doesn't have news. RECT. Oh, wait, there's news on Thinkorswim though. It hasn't popped up on my Warrior Trading scanner yet. Okay, it says Rectitude Holdings secures over 10 million in AIMS contract orders amid surging demand for green energy. Well, that sounds nice. I like that. Let's see if it meets the other pillars of stock selection. The float is 2.41 million, so that's under 20 million. The relative volume is great. The gap is great. The price is great, and it has news. So I'm going to, but ALMU looks to be like, look at the price. This is choppy. This is really choppy. It's not clean price action. It's not clean looking. So let me go back to ALMU. Let's see. We had a big spike here, which we could see here, and now it's pulling back. But will it break? Will it break 15? Because 15 is where the simple moving average is on the daily chart. And I do use that for resistance. So if the stock is under the 200 simple moving average, then the 200 SMA acts as resistance. If it's over, it can act as support. Right now, it just literally went up and tapped that point. So, all right. Well, now on the 5-minute chart, look at this. Look at this big candle down. Yeah. So this is where I really look at the multi-time frame alignment. I feel like, where are we in the candle? On the 5-minute candle, we're more than halfway through the 5-minute candle. And So this candle is like this, all right? This action here. Oh, wait, nope, sorry. This action here. So look at this. You can see this candle is like these candles here. So ALMU, I don't like this big pullback. It's gone past the 9 EMA, it's gone past the 20 EMA, and it's gone past VWAP. So now the bulls are in control. So let's go back and look at RECT. This is pulling back, but again, it's below VWAP. Now, there are a million indicators, right? And there's no way you can use all the indicators at the same time. You have to select the ones that you want to use. And I'm a big believer in sticking with the basics. So I do use VWAP. Okay, so it's pulling back. Now here, it tapped, the high of day was $2.30, and the simple moving average is at $2.46. So is it really going to go high? That's a point of resistance. How much higher is this really going to go? Here we go. It's breaking out, but the top of the low candle is here. I don't know. I'm being really cautious. I've had 2 red trades. I want to pick one that looks really clean. And see, this one is confusing me. Look at the volume candles. Okay, this makes sense to me. The volume's increasing. This is a lot of selling. And then here, it starts to pop up with more volume. It's just not looking clean to me. So I am going to be really cautious about that. ALMU, wow, look at that. It took a nosedive, huh? That's not a bull flag pullback anymore. That's something else. And it had good news, but I think we're on the backside of the move. And I got stuck in this candle right here. Okay, right here. I thought it was breaking out and I missed it. Popped up after that, but my stop is at 10 cents a share for a reason. Okay, my stop is at 10 cents a share for a reason, to protect me. Okay, so AIFF, I traded that in the last couple of weeks, you can see here. But I mean, that sounded like good news too. I guess good news today is not enough to drive the price action. So we had some things pop up that met the criteria for stock selection, but let's look at total volume. AIFF, not even 1 million shares in total volume. Look how slowly things are moving on the time and sales. It's like molasses, right? And ALMU, again, not even 2 million shares total volume yet. So again, I probably should have looked at total volume more seriously before I got in. RECT, yeah, it just looks choppy to me. I don't see clean price action. It looks good going up. This is a potential pull of a bull flag, right? But the flag is like messy, very messy. This has more volume than ALMU or AIFF. IMA, my first red trade, still stuck below VWAP. I mean, that had, you know, the news was great on some of these stocks, but just, you know, if the total volume in the market isn't there, it's just not going to go anywhere. And I think that was definitely the mistake I made, which is crazy because last week my whole theme was volume and I felt like I really conquered the topic, but you can see that today I got stuck several times with volume. So volume is that critical. It really is. It's really that critical. You know, I talked a lot in my Substack last week about volume because that was the week. In Substack, I'm going over my goal of the week. Last week was volume. Now this week I picked working on my micro pullback setup and making sure that I am getting confirmation on the 10-second chart. However, I feel like that's a harder goal to work on now that I'm in the middle of it, because I have to wait for a micro pullback setup to appear before I can even work on this goal. Whereas with volume, every single trade you take, you need confirmation on volume. So it was an easier goal to work on, but you can see how tricky it is to get it right. I mean, yeah, you can see it's tricky. Okay, so if we go back to my trader view, which is where I record my trades, I've had 2 red trades today. Bummer, but I followed my, I didn't follow my rules. Well, I'm not going to be too hard on myself on the first one. I looked for confirmation with the volume bar, and then I got in too high. So I'm not sure that that's really, am I being too hard on myself? Before I make a definitive, before I give a definitive opinion on this, I'm going to watch the replay before I make a final decision. Okay, so I'm going to watch my own live stream. After I'm done live streaming today, I usually do a recap. And before I make a definitive decision on whether or not my entry on this first trade was good or bad, I will watch the replay. And then in the recap, I'll give my final opinion on that. But I wait, and I'm going to say why I got in too high. Because, whoops, I'm having problems with because I waited for volume bar to form. Okay. The volume bar to form. Okay. My Grammarly is correcting me. Thank you, Grammarly. I use that for a lot of my writing. Okay. Watch the replay. That will let me know if I made a good decision or not. My second trade, ALMU, I didn't wait for the volume bar confirmation. Okay, so on that one, I do think that I was at fault there. Okay, on both of them, I clicked to get out at my stop, which was 10 cents a share, and I did. I was lucky on the first one because I only lost 2.5 cents a share, but on ALMU, I really lost the entire amount, which is still lucky because I clicked to get out at my stop and it looked like it dropped further, but I only lost 10 cents a share. So I do feel lucky on that. So today my accuracy is awful. Okay, my accuracy is, I'm down $73.83. I have 0% accuracy today. Oh my God, that hurts. That really hurts. That hasn't happened to me that much. That doesn't happen to me very often. Ooh, ouch. All right, and I'm at 0% accuracy, but I did get out at my stop. So 2 weeks ago, my goal was to get out at my stop every time. I did that. The volume bar, I think that was last week's theme. I think I messed up with ALMU. All right, so let's look. RECT is popping back up. Well, not really. Okay, the MACD is still red here. It's well below VWAP. Yeah, I'm going to remove this drawing. I I'm not going to get back in on that. That's kind of, you know, yeah. So for those of you who are new traders, I hope you're tracking your trades. I am getting better and better at tracking my trades. I'm trying to find, I went through phases where I was tracking too much and it was getting very time consuming and I didn't feel like it was improving my trading. And then I went through a phase where I was like, forget it. I don't need to track. That's crazy. I know that sounds absolutely crazy when I say it out loud like that, but I guess I was just really frustrated because I didn't feel like tracking so much was improving me. I tried not tracking, which also didn't help me. I wasn't learning. You should always analyze what you're doing. I'm trying to find the sweet spot between how much to analyze and also not over focusing on things that aren't relevant. I think that there is definitely, you know, what's that saying? Paralysis by analysis. And most of my professional career has been in finance, accounting, government procurement. I did all numbers type professions or numbers adjacent. And analyzing data and using that data to make good decisions has been a very large part of my professional career, and that's huge with trading. But there is a point at which you're losing incremental gains. So I'm still trying to find that sweet spot with trading. All right, RCT popped up, but again, it is a penny stock, but it looks like it has good news. Let's see, RCT. Let's just take a look at it because it's popping up, right? So RCT has news. The float is over 20 million. So that would automatically be disqualified for me. Does not make the cut. Okay. I am looking for stocks with a float under 20 million. Why? Why am I looking for stocks with a float under 20 million? We don't want to just memorize it. We want to understand why. So I did a video on float, and it's about supply. If you have too many shares, then the price, it drives the price down, right? If you have less shares but a high demand for those shares, and what creates demand? A news catalyst. So good news with a low number of shares can drive the price up. That's not the only thing that's working to drive the price up, but that is one of the things that is acting to drive the price up. Okay, so if you're interested more in float, I will be making videos on all my criteria for stock selection, all my technical indicators, all my setups, and lots more topics. So on the weekends, is my collar up? The 80s coming back here. I will be on the weekends, I'm posting educational content and on non-trading days. And next week while I'm traveling, I am going to trade every day that I can and live stream if possible. I've traded on all my trips this year since I started trading, but since last year. But I have never live streamed trading on a trip, and I'll be in Prague, so I'll be doing some content on what I'm taking with me, how I'm doing it, how it works. Like I said, I've traded on all my trips since last year, but I haven't live streamed, so I'm really excited about that. Hopefully it works. I've even traded in an airport lounge, but we'll see. I wonder if there's a good lounge in, I have a layover in Munich. I'll have to see if there's a lounge in Munich that I can get into. I have some lounge access. All right, so RCT, sorry, honey, you didn't make the cut, okay? And so we're gonna take you off the podium. All right, IMA, never really went anywhere. That was my first red trade. And again, it sort of had this, I thought it was going to break out and it didn't. Okay. So let's take IMA off the table. AIFF. AIFF looks like it's trying to climb up towards VWAP. Are we looking for a break of VWAP? The MACD is green. Huh. Are we looking for a break of VWAP here? I thought the news was good. It says they announce over, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is good, but I like biotech news. So I like it. What's ALLO? Let's see. ALLO. So, going back to AIFF. If AIFF is going for a break of VWAP, I would want to see confirmation above VWAP. There we go, 1 bar above VWAP. But I want to see 1 candle close above VWAP. And we have 10 seconds left on this candle. But look at the total volume. All right, see, I almost got tricked again. Oh, whoa, I almost got tricked again. All right, volume, my relative volume is good. I was looking for confirmation on the volume bar here, right? The volume bar is up. But look at total volume, it's under 1 million. That's low. I know we don't really have an absolute number for total volume for a stock, but look at how slow things are moving on the time and sales and the level 2. It's like molasses over here. Look at this. It's like molasses. Okay, so we had 1 share at 161, 200 shares up, and it pulled back. So that would be a no. ALLO. Let's take a look at ALLO. The price is in my range. Oh, the float is 166 million. It's a little over 20 million. I'm not a math genius, but I think 166 is over 20. So ALLO will have to come off the thing. ALMU, I think this is the backside of the move. I thought they had great news, but this looks like the backside of the move to me. And it's below VWAP, below the 9 EMA. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, when I've been traveling over the last year and trading, I have had good luck with the Wi-Fi at the hotels. I often stay at IHG hotels, and for half this trip I'm staying at IHG hotels, but like I've had good luck with Wi-Fi, but I haven't live streamed. So let's see how that goes. And it's possible that I might live stream from one of the airports. Is that even allowed? I don't know. Am I allowed to live stream from an airport? I don't know. I'm 55 and I am new to live streaming. So I'm learning this as I go. All right. I didn't think that I would be a content creator at 55, but I think this is what's happening. I started this channel so that I could, you know, work on my own day trading and share my journey, because being a new momentum trader is scary. And I wanted to share my journey and kind of get some feedback on what I was doing. And but the live streaming is helping so much. Wow, it's really keeping me accountable. So thank you so much, guys. I mean, yes, today's a red day. That is a huge bummer, but I feel like I've documented what's happened in my TraderView app, and I am definitely going to be going over that in the recap. As long as I'm learning and I'm moving the needle forward 1% every day, I mean, there are going to be red days. You know, it just feels like this month is. Do you ever have those dreams where you're just like moving in slow motion and you feel like you're moving through molasses. That is how trading feels right now. However, I am going to cap all my trades, my loss at 10 cents a share, no matter what. I'm just going to click the button and I'm not going to hold anything and pray. No more holding, praying, chanting, juju, none of that. I'm just going to cut my losses. Okay, so yes, I'm really excited to travel again, and a friend and I are going to Prague, so if you see someone wandering around in the back of my live stream, it's the friend that I'm traveling with. She's not a trader. Okay, so let's see. AIFF. Yep, look at this now. Okay. AIFF, I traded a bunch of times recently. You can see here on my daily chart, it shows I traded it in March a couple of times. But today it popped up and I got excited because I thought it had really good news. And I've traded this stock before. And I think I had pretty good success with it. But it pulled back and it just never popped back up above VWAP. And you can see that VWAP is acting as resistance right here. Oh yeah, thanks HG. Yes, I will definitely go over it in the recap for sure. For sure. So yep, you can see that VWAP is resistance. And this is the thing about these indicators. The reason why they work is because a lot of these indicators are very well respected by traders. So I'm not the only person looking at VWAP. Almost everyone who is trading right now is looking at VWAP. And because of that, they're all seeing the same thing. Oh, it's hovering right below VWAP. Let's see. Why did we discount RCT? Oh, the float is above 20 million. Okay, because RCT keeps popping up on my scanner. I use Warrior Trading scanners, and I'm like, why did we not put this on the chart, on the watch list? And the reason is that the float is above 20 million. So RECT, again, MACD is red. It's kind of curling back up a little bit, but I like the news. I mean, I like the news. It says that, let's see. It announced that it secured 10 million in rental and sales contract orders during the second half of the fiscal year. This performance reflects the surging demand for the company's all-in-one intelligence microgrid system and underscores Rectitude's successful pivot into the high-growth green energy sector, as well as its strategic collaboration with Vantage Equipment and Services. So that sounds like great news. RECT, however, it looks like it already made its move. It might be going for a break of VWAP, in which case, let's take a look at this. Hard to borrow. It's based in Singapore. Well, it's an investment holding company engaging in the wholesale and supply of safety equipment in Singapore. Protective clothing. Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like it has good news. It sounds like they're saying that they've secured orders for the second half of the year. That's great. But yep, you can see it's still well below VWAP. So Monday's kind of a bummer. I'm going to be honest. I'm super bummed out. 2 red trades. Really, Monday? You going to do me dirty Monday? But okay. I'm still going to keep an eye on AIFF, but the total volume is really low. So I'm realizing that I don't know if I set a good goal for this week. My goal this week was, and you can check this out on my Substack, because on Substack I'm posting Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays about my weekly goal for trading, and I'm going into a deep dive on that over on Substack. But my weekly goal this week was to improve my micro pullbacks. When I looked at my data over the last month, I noticed that I was losing money on my micro pullback setups, but I was seeing them a lot. Like, I made a lot of trades, and in order to improve that, my goal was to use the 10-second chart for confirmation, because I was doing micro pullbacks that were like inside the 1-minute candle. And so thanks to one of my viewers, HG, I added the 10-second chart. Ah, okay, AIFF is not in your top gainers and you're on Webull. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Yep. Yeah, because I think it's because the volume is so low. The volume is just so low. And total volume does matter. That has gotten me a few times. So here, AIFF, the total volume is still under 1 million. The time in sales and the level 2 are moving like molasses. So, yeah, I won't be trading that. Good point, HG. I mean, I think that's probably what's keeping it. It's not on my top gainer scanner either. It was on my running up scanner. But yeah, we're not seeing much pop up. Now it's 8:30. It's possible that we could have some breaking news at 8:30, because news comes out at the top of the hour and at the bottom of the hour. Not always, but a lot of the time. So I'll wait until after 8:30. The 8:30 time frame comes and goes, because I want to see if there's any breaking news, but I might take a break around 8:40, 8:45 if I'm not actually trading. And now that's interesting, because on the Warrior Trader scanner right now, it might not be up more than 10%, but at the time I was looking at it, at the time that it popped up on my scanner, it was, which was back here. That's a good point. Back here, it was 16% over the previous day's close, but now it wouldn't be. Now it wouldn't be, because look at how much it's dropped. So that is an excellent point. SRCT. SRCT. Let's check that one out. SRCT. SRCT. Am I reading that right? SRCT. I don't know why it's not popping up on my SRCT? Not an S. Oh, RCT. Sorry. RCT. Yes, but that float is too high for me. So the float is above 20 million. So that's, James, that is a great point, but yes, I'm watching that pop up on my scanners, but the float is for RCT is 29 million. So I am disqualifying that from my potential stocks. So ideally, I'm looking for stocks that have a float under 20 million. Of course, in a hot market, I would play a little bit looser with that, right? But I have to be really careful, because now I'm 2 red trades on the day, okay, which has put me red on the month, because I had such a small lead on the month. So I'm not going to step outside my criteria for today, which means I might not take another trade today, right? that might happen. It might just be I have to sit with this red day. Ah. But James, are you trading RCT? I'm curious how it's going to go. Let me know. Let us know in the chat if you do take a trade on it and how it goes. I mean, it's making moves and it has great news. It has great news. Yep. And now it's pulling back. So this would be a potential bull flag pullback, right? RECT is also, oh no, well, RECT is in the toilet. Okay, so RCT is making moves for sure, but the float is high for me. Oh, look at those big sellers on the ask. 240,000, 235,000. Those are big sellers on the ask on RCT. I wouldn't get in on that, but that's just me. Lots of action though, 27 million in total volume. I mean, maybe I'm the dummy of the day. Maybe this is the stock to get in on, but looks like it's pulling back on the 5-minute chart as well. It's hitting the 9 EMA. I mean, I like it. I like it. Let me put it on my 10-second chart. RCT. I like it, you know, but the float is a little high, but look at all the volume. Look at all the volume. Yep, but I promised myself I would stick to my criteria for stock selection. And if I have to sit on my hands, I'll do it. The other day, I had to literally sit on my hands to not trade a stock. That was crazy. Well, it's pulling back. It looks like it's now the first pullback on the 5-minute chart. And it's tapping the 9 EMA, and the MACD is starting to go red. So I missed the move on this, but it didn't meet my selection for stock criteria. Okay, hey, scalping 5 cents is better than I'm doing today. Congratulations. Yeah, so I also don't trade stocks below $1. And since this is a penny stock, I generally stay away from that. But I'm so happy for you that you got 5 cents a share. That's great. 5 cents a share, that's, in this market, honestly, a win is a win. Take it and run. That's great. I mean, like I said, I'm happy scalping 5 cents a share in a bunch of stocks, but I'm just not feeling confident about it. And I think that's because right now I'm red on the day, red on the week, and now I'm slightly red on the month. No, I'm sorry. I'm red on the month now. So I'm like, ugh. I have to be like really, really cautious and really stick to my rules. Wow. Yeah, big orders. Not as big as before. Okay. 28,000 on the ask. Now, if you're really new, you might be confused about level 2 and time and sales. I will be doing videos on that. It took me a long time to understand level 2 and time and sales. And okay, HG, yep. RCT is below your $2 rule. Okay, so you cut it off at $2. All right, so I cut it off at $1, but I think $2 is, for a long time, it was $2, and I have traded stocks that are like between $1 and $2, but I don't want to trade stocks that are penny stocks. I don't know if you can see that on the, let me move my 10-second chart. You can see on the active trader ladder that the price goes up 4 decimal points. Okay, and that's your clue that it is one of the clues that it's a penny stock. There are different definitions of penny stock. Some people think it's just stocks under $1, but there's more to it, I guess. And I like to stay away from stocks that are trading out to the 10,000ths. Is that what it is? 10,000ths. But also, I mean, there's lots of activity. I mean, this is clearly the stock that everyone's watching right now, right? RCT, but it is above my float. And now you can see, look at this on the active trader window. When it gets above a certain point, sometimes it flips. And now look, there are only 2 decimal points. But again, it doesn't meet my criteria for stock selection, which I follow Warrior Trading's 5 pillars. I'm curious what everyone else uses for stock selection. Mine are that the price has to be between $1 and $10. I mean, $1 and $20, but I'm really cautious about trading between $10 and $20. One of the stocks I traded today was between $10 and $20. And that's what I took my biggest loss on. And that reduced my available settled funds that are left because I trade with a cash account. So usually between $1 and $10, a float under 20 million. I want to see relative volume 5 times its 50-day average. And I want to see that the price is gapped up more than 10% since the previous day's close. And the 5th one is, of course, a news catalyst. Not all news catalysts are equal, right? You have to evaluate the news catalyst for quality. And it is subjective, okay? And this is what, it's one of the things I like about trading, right? That it's, yes, there is, I love data and all of that and numbers, but I also like the fact that there is this element of subjectivity to it. So RECT has popped above VWAP. So, it's popped above VWAP, and again, it's meeting my criteria for stock selection. Yeah, it secured a bunch of contract orders, which is very good. So I think it might be back in the running for me. Let's see. Let me look at my 10-second chart here. Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at RECT again. Okay, it has good news that came out at 8 a.m. But see this on the 5-minute chart? The price is going up, but the volume is going down. What I would want to see is that as the price is going up slightly, I would want to see the volume also going up. So this is more of a pullback here. This is more of like a right here. The resistance at this level here. Okay, so I guess we would be looking for a break over 195. So maybe a break over 2. Maybe a break over 2. So where is that resistance coming from? Let's see. On the daily chart, I see a window back to 213 and then another window back to 414. So that might be where that resistance is coming from, this window here on the daily chart. Also, the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart is at $2.53, which can also be resistance. That could be why we only tapped $2.30 here for high of day. Okay, I'm using Ross's 5 pillars too, and you're not super hung up on the float as long as the ticker is getting a lot of volume. That's a good point. I think if today was a good day in the market, I would definitely, like in a hotter market, I will definitely play looser with the pillars, like especially float, right? But when I checked the market this morning, it was scary. Float rotation seems more important than strict float limits. Okay, yep, float rotation definitely. I agree with that. I really, yep. See, this is why it's great to talk with other traders and see what you guys are doing. I mean, float rotation, that's something that I didn't bring up in my float video, and I definitely will address that in a future video. Thanks for bringing that up, James, because that is important. See, there's so many things to look at. I'm a new trader. I've only been trading for a year. And the more I learn, the more I realize I need to learn. And I love it when you guys give me some comments. No, I know. But in a hot market, I am going to play looser with my rules, right? But today is not the day for me. Like, let's check in again. Okay, I checked this morning how the stock market was doing today, and it said that U.S. stock futures fell sharply. Let's check again. Let's check Gemini. It says stock futures are falling as oil prices surged above $100. Okay, so it sounds like the market is still kind of in the toilet. So, yes, so James, I know you're, I will stay strong. I will. But I will play looser in a hot market, but this is not it. So I will stay strong with my 5 pillars. And again, everyone kind of interprets that the way they do, like I noticed because I've been following Ross for over a year, and you can see, like, I took his classes, and you can see in some of his videos that his strategy like evolved over time too. And it should, just as our strategies should evolve over time, right? The more we learn, we integrate that into the information that we already have, and we just keep improving. My goal is always to improve 1% per day. Honestly, just hearing some of the comments that you guys have given me and the feedback, I feel like I've already improved 1% today. So I feel like I can check that box. I really appreciate it. All right, RECT did break above VWAP, but it's tapping that 195 level again. I may not get in because look at the volume on the 5-minute chart. It did break above that level though. So this was like a bull flag, and then it broke up, but can it stay strong over this 195 level that it kept tapping? Okay, RECT, I see you. It broke out. It did break out. I didn't take it. I missed it. Missed the move. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm learning. I'm really gun shy right now after 2 red trades. That's normal, right? I mean, some people have a 3 strikes and you're out rule, and I don't, but today I'm feeling like if I did have a 3rd red trade, I would be probably done for the day. Not done watching. I'll stay on until 10 a.m. regardless, because I feel like the time in front of the charts and the time analyzing is really worth it. But now that it's running up, okay, and heading back up towards this high of day, I'm looking for another pullback on RECT. Let's get rid of AIFF. You're a dud. ALMU, you've disappointed me. I'm a mother, so I try to have that "you've disappointed me" look. Okay. RCT, I'm sorry, you're disqualified for a float too high, honey. You're out. And let's keep an eye on RECT. So I'm curious what kind of benchmarks you guys use. Over here, I keep some benchmarks. I follow crypto. Well, I follow Bitcoin. I do have some Bitcoin for long-term investing. Okay, RECT. Looks like it's pulling back. Is this a micro pullback? No, look, volume's decreasing. Okay. One candle under candle, and then it popped up a little, and it's really struggling here. It's struggling. And is this the new point of resistance? It might be, because look at here. If you go all the way back to last year, there's a window to 214. I might call this a micro pullback if it, nope. All right, so now it's pulling back even further. I might look for a an entry on this. On the 10-second chart, it's pulling back a little bit, pulling back. This is the top of the low candle now. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that's a big red candle. Now, I'm not going to be interested if it drops more than, so if this is the pull, if I'm looking for a bull flag pullback, right? There are 3 parts to a bull flag pullback: the pull, the flag, and the breakout. So if this would be the pull, this would be the pullback. If it goes below the 9 EMA, then I won't consider it really. It's, yes, look at it, it's dropping. It's dropping. So if this is the top of the low candle, I could get 10 cents a share off of this, but if it drops too low, more than 50% of this move, I'm not going to feel great about it. I'm going to keep an eye on it, though. I think this is a potential move. It's dropping below the 9 EMA. MACD is still green. It's still above the 20 EMA and VWAP. So that's all good. Let's see. I don't see, well, there's a few. Look at that 8,000 seller on the ask. Okay, it's a lot of movement. 198. 198. Oh, this might be the, so now it's dropped below the 9 EMA. I'm less interested. I'm still going to watch it, but I'm a lot less interested. And look at the MACD, looks like it might flip soon. I'm still going to watch it, but, oh, this could pop up. This could be, if it goes above 203, We have 15 seconds left on this candle, this 1 minute candle. Three, two, one. Okay, so now this is the low candle, and it's below, the price is below the 9 EMA, so I don't love that, but, and the MACD is red. Oh, so I have to say no. I have been burned so many times trading when the MACD was red. So many times, so many times. Yeah, so many times I have been lured with the promise of a breakout, but the MACD was red. And I'm all set. I'm all set with you, red MACD. All right, so yeah, I can't take a trade here. The MACD is red. So that's my rule. Maybe a little, yeah. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I will be gone for about 5 minutes. I'll come back for any potential news breaking out at 9 a.m. and, of course, the market open at 9:30. All right, I'll be right back, you guys. All right, guys, I'm back. Hi. All right. Just had to get a quick snack and drink. All right. All right, so where do we stand on the day? RECT didn't pop up above that level, so all right. Well, let's see, SKYQ popped up, but this has been, I actually traded it last month, I think, or a couple of weeks ago, but why is Sky Quarry stock surging Monday? The move follows a massive momentum wave that began last week. Trading resumed Friday after a circuit breaker halt. So this would be a continuation stock, and it's really high. Oh, wow, look at that, huh? Right at 4 a.m., it just flew up. Huh. And now it's on a pullback after break of VWAP. See, I traded it on the 2nd and on the 7th when it was a much lower price. It's way above the 200 simple moving average. Way above. Wow. This would be a continuation stock, right? Where it's sort of riding on the news of the coattails of previous The primary catalyst stems from escalating Middle East tensions. President Donald Trump recently announced a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Trump expressed frustration with Iran on Truth Social. So that seems to be driving SKYQ up. So, I mean, there's no news on the Warrior Trading Scanner, but on Thinkorswim, there is news. It's explaining why it's surging. And it is for sure, but this is a little expensive for me. I would have to reduce share size, which, speaking of that, I think I'm going to do that anyway because I have had 2 red trades. So I think I'm going to reduce my share size. If I do take a 3rd trade, it'll only be with 100 shares. Okay. RCT, you temptress. She keeps popping up on my scanner. You have too many shares, love. All right, so SKYQ is, wow, look at that bull flag, pullback, breakout. Look at that. That's the pull. That's the pullback. It hit VWAP and the 9 EMA, and then it popped right up. Too expensive for me, though. I mean, I could do 100 shares. Let's see. Oh, it's on a run up, and there are no big sellers on the ask. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Almost $1 a share. $1 a share. Wow, look at that. Okay, and on the 5-minute, it's doing a micro pullback, which I said I would do. So let's look at SKYQ. Will I do a micro pullback with 100 shares? Well, that's more of a, is that a micro pullback? Or is that like the beginning of a jackknife? We're halfway through the candle on the 1 minute. I'm looking at the 10-second, and it looks like it's volume's pulling back. Oh, we're almost done with that candle. Okay, it's going up. This might be another bull flag pullback, not micro pullback. So let's take a look. All right. The top of the flag is at up here in 1927. This would be the top of the low candle, the current low candle. Now, I was prepared maybe to take a micro pullback setup here, which is my goal for the week. But I'm looking at the 10-second chart, and I am having trouble interpreting it on the 10-second chart. I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling a little bit to interpret it. Let me make this a little bigger. I have to get used to it. I definitely have to get used to it. So it broke out. Look at this topping tail here. It did break out, and the volume bar is higher. But look at that topping tail. High of day was $20.45. So that would be a point of resistance, right? I don't know. Nothing looks clean to me. Would you guys trade this right now? Nothing looks clean to me. I don't think I'm willing to risk. I mean, I would only be trading 100 shares, but I'm not sure I'm willing to risk $10 on it, to be honest. It looks choppy to me. I thought this would be a bull flag pullback, right? And I thought, okay, I'll get 10 cents a share here, which would be $10 because I'm only trading 100 shares at this point. BFRG. Let's look at that. BFRG. Okay, this is another penny stock. Oh my God, 57,000 shares on the ask. Seems like a big order to me. I don't know. Bullfrog AI provides business update. Strengthened balance sheet supports continued execution as company aims to ramp commercial activity with... That sounds like maybe... What does that mean? Strengthens balance sheet. Okay, they issued a letter to shareholders. All right, before I read through the whole thing, let's take a look at the 5 pillars. So, whoops. 2.3 million share float. No, 16 million float. So that is below the 20 million. The relative daily volume is under 5 times the 50-day average. So that's that. I'm not going to get in unless that goes up, which it could. It could go up. SKYQ kept going higher. I did not get in on this. And now looks like it's pulling back again. Still doesn't hit high of day though. These topping tails look choppy to me. I'm curious what everyone else is doing. Yeah. I know I'm being really cautious, but I have 2 red trades. I'm sitting on 2 red trades. I'm sitting on a red day, red on the month, red on the week. And I am, oops. I'm going to be cautious, right? Let's see. RECT, are you even worth looking at? Well, it popped up, tapped this level again. SKYQ making another run without me. That's way out of my price range now. It's over $20. So I'm out. Even at 100 shares, I'm out. Yeah. Yeah, I don't I don't like that spread either, because if I get in, trying to get out can be a problem. If I want to sell in the bid, yeah, I don't like it. I agree with that. But now it's out of my price range. So trading is a lot like parenting. It's just saying no all the time. You know, it's just saying no repeatedly over and over. Yeah, I think this is gonna, it already hit high of day. I think this one is going to be one of those stocks that goes up crazy high today. And it'll go up without me for sure. Be at Bullfrog, let's see. Bullfrog looks good, except the relative volume is low. So that's what's holding me back on that one. You know, this is where I think in the past it was really tempting for me to revenge trade. Because I am now red on the day, red on the week, because Monday sets my whole week, and I'm red on the month. Small red, but I'm red. And in the past, I would be like, I have to make that back. I have to make that back. I cannot control what pops up on my scanners. And if I break my rules, then yes, it might feel good to trade, to try to get out of my red day, but I think in the long run, I'm going to be less profitable and less successful. So I'm going to stick to my rules. But in the past, I would be thinking, I have to make that back. And so many times I've done that. Oh, thanks, Czar Trader. Yeah, I mean, the fact that Ross hasn't traded yet says a lot. All right. Yeah, that says a lot. I mean, you know, I'll say more in my recap, but I think I made a mistake definitely on my second trade. Was it my second trade? I don't know, but I'll go over them in the recap for sure. I will watch my own replay first, and then I will do my recap. Let's see, RECT. Wow, looks choppy on the 1 minute, huh? Look at that. It's really consolidating sideways around VWAP. So Let's see. Just kind of running right alongside VWAP in the 9 EMA. Bullfrog, let's see what's happening with relative volume. Yeah, the relative volume is just too low. So speak of the devil, RECT is breaking out. Look at that, MACD's green. It's popping up. Okay, so now I'm going to look for, it might be trying for a high of day. Now I'm going to look for a bull flag pullback on this, but with reduced share size. So I really can't dig myself out of my hole with one trade because I'm down like 70 something dollars. But I'm still going to reduce my share size, okay? And the reason is I'm reducing my risk because normally I would trade 500 shares and I would set my stop at 10 cents a share. So my max loss would be $50. I've reduced my share size to 100 shares to lower my risk to $10. So if I do take a trade on RECT and I lose the trade, hopefully I will only be $10 in the hole. And if that's the case, that'll be my third red trade and then I will be done for the day. I don't always have a hard and fast rule about when to stop, but 3 red trades in a row on a Monday. On a day like this, if there was a lot of action and there was a lot of activity, and I've had days where I've traded 30 times, and in that case, I'm not stressing as much about it. And it also depends on why the trades were red. I just feel like the line is too close here. MACD on, yeah, James, I saw that. I get so excited when I see green on the MACD. I do. I get really excited. Okay, so now we have a potential bull flag pullback. So possibly it's pulling back here. It popped up. It's pulling back. This would be the high of the low candle right now. But see, look at this. It's only a 5-cent difference here. I can't really make 10 cents a share. I mean, but look, let's see what happens. Oh, it's popping up. So is this going to be, so actually this is the high of the low candle. I don't really have enough room to make much at all. I mean, this would be 4 cents, right? But I'm waiting for the volume to kind of confirm that it's going up. And I don't see that. The price is actually moving down. So let me adjust this line right here. Yep. So it kind of keeps tapping this level here. It's pulling back more. So if you can see on the 5-minute, it keeps tapping up here at this level and it's kind of there now. So I don't know if it's really going to break out that much more over. I don't know. I guess you could put it here to 220. So right now it's hovering around $2. Oh, it broke out. Now my stop would be $10, right? My stop is $10 because all right. That's it for me. 3 strikes. And you're out, Raven. But look at this. Look at how much it dropped. Wow. Okay. All righty. So export to file. I'm going to put this one in my trader view. Wow, today's recap is going to be such a bummer. I'll have to play like a funeral dirge in the background. I'm already wearing black, you know, I'll just wear like a somber veil and cry the whole time. Sorry, my humor is so dark. Okay, so I'm going to put this into my trader view, which is what I do. Wow, that is brutal. Okay. Whoops. What? Wait a minute. Let me go back. Look at my trades. Okay. So on this one, I'm setting my initial risk at $10. And I'm going to say this was a bull flag pullback. Okay. So what did I do wrong here? Let's take a quick look. I like to put a note. I did wait for volume to pop up, but look, I caught it here as it was going up. Did I wait too long to get in? I was waiting for volume confirmation. It did pop up above where I purchased it, but I'll have to watch the replay to see what I did. Or is it just, did I get in too late? I'm kind of struggling with the timing on getting in. Did I get in too late? So, you know, I try to put a note, especially on the red trades, to give me a clue of what to look for now that I am streaming live. Okay, so now I'm down. Why is it saying 2 trades? That's kind of weird, right? Let's refresh here. I don't know why it's not counting that. Okay, so now my accuracy, I'm down $85.82. Oh my God. What a bummer. I don't know why I'm laughing. Okay. And I took 3 trades. My accuracy is 0%. Mondays are rough for me. Okay. So I will be going over all of that in the recap. This sad, sad day. We have 8 minutes to the open. I will not be taking any trades at the open because I am in the pooper. But I'm going to keep watching. Let's keep watching. Maybe something cool will pop up that we can watch. Wow. 3 for 3, huh? Okay. I see you, Red Day. Yes, what a heartbreaker. My heart is broken, James. Yeah, that was rough. And that is why I reduced my share size. Okay, this is a great lesson as to why I reduced my share size. Imagine if I had traded with 500 shares. That would have just really been a kick in the ovaries because, let's see, FJET just popped up. Let's just take a look. FJET. Yeah, that is why I absolutely reduced my share size, because I felt like this is a risky day to take trades. Okay, so I knew that. I knew I was down 2 red trades. I knew I was down on the month now, and I was willing to jump in if I saw something. I said I would only trade bull flag pullbacks, which I did. I mean, I wanted to work on the micro pullback, but I just didn't see an opportunity for that. That's my goal this week, is to work on the micro pullback. And use the 10-second chart for confirmation, but I can't make those setups happen. So I'm realizing that it's really tough to have a goal that's dependent on the market giving me the setup. But in any case, all three of my trades were bull flag pullbacks, and I knew that I was taking a risk, so I reduced my share size. And thank goodness I did, because you can see here that on that trade, I tried to get out at my stop, which was $10, and it got out a little bit below, so $11.99. Imagine if I had traded 500 shares. I would be down like $60 right now. $60 more dollars. That's like, what? You know, I don't want to over focus on profits, but right. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Thanks. Thanks. I mean, I feel like it works in both directions. I feel like it works in both directions. Like if I'm really up, I'm going to reduce my share size so I don't give back too much of my profit. If I'm really down, I'm not going to risk too much share size because I don't want to dig myself deeper in the hole. Right? And I think reducing share size is something we definitely need to get comfortable with. In fact, I'm going to take a look at the market tomorrow, and if I'm not feeling it, I might start with a reduced share size tomorrow and try to make back some of what I lost today. Maybe 300 shares or 200 shares or 100 shares, because this market is rough. So, and I want to make sure that I'm not trading out of desperation or digging myself deeper into a hole every day. Yeah, look at that. RECT just went into the toilet. So we have, let's see, we have like less than 5 minutes before the market open. When the market opens, my strategy changes a little bit. I'm more likely to take a gap and go. Today, I will not be taking a trade, but let's look for some gap and go openings, micro pullbacks. Those are the two setups that I have traded at the market open most successfully. Gap and go and micro pullbacks. So let's keep an eye out for those. Yeah, reducing share size. Absolutely reduce share size when you, let's see, RECT. Absolutely to reduce share size when you feel like you need to protect your winnings if you're up green, or if you need to reduce loss. So I had 2 red trades and I reduced my share size on the third one. Thank goodness I did. Thank goodness. Yes, I stood to gain 10 or 20 bucks, but I only stood to lose 10. So I was able to get out at $12. So yes. Let's see. So Bitcoin, let's look at some of our benchmarks. Bitcoin, I keep thinking we're going to get above this point here, $76,000, but no. All right, and look, Bitcoin's down today. A lot of people say that Bitcoin and crypto and small caps mirror each other, and I do invest in Bitcoin, but for long term. I don't day trade Bitcoin. And I track gold and silver futures because I do invest in precious metals, again, for long-term investing. And gold, wow. I never thought I would see $5,500 for an ounce of gold. I really didn't think I'd see that, honestly. That was pretty crazy. And silver was up so high, 120. All right, we have the Russell 2000, the S&P 500, which is, look at this, it really jumped up, okay? The VIX is low, or lower. So I feel like, you know, there might be some opportunities. MIGI, there's no volume there yet. Does FJET, it doesn't have news. All right, so let's look at MIGI. MIGI. Don't see news. The float's low, but the relative volume is really low. I think everyone's bailing, honestly. People are just sitting out today. Has anyone had any good luck today? You want to post in the chat like a success you had today? Oh, there's the market bell. Okay, so let's see what pops up, if anything. Okay. I'm looking for things with news. So FJET is still popping up. But I'm looking for things with news. No, looks choppy. ALMU. Oh, you think I'm going to be fooled by you again? I'm just curious, out of morbid curiosity. Look at it. It's, wow. Okay. Look at how deep the level 2 is. People think it's going to, people really think it's going to break 18? Wow. Look at how deep the level 2 is. But again, it's active, but there's, you know, look at the spread. It's like a 10-cent spread right now. I don't see any big sellers. I'm going to put 100. I'm not going to trade though. All right, so Fuse, FUSE. Let's clean some of this up. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. RECT. Well, the MACD's red. So if I were going to trade again, which I'm not because I had 3 red trades in a row, and I think this is a good time to say stop. But I'm going to look again. How is the stock market doing today? Let's see what it says now. Stocks are trading lower as geopolitical tensions rise. The S&P is down. So have I traded before after 3 red trades? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't have an absolute stop, but in this market and the trades that I took, it wasn't like, oh, I took a trade and then it rejected. I just feel like it's been a struggle today, like a legit struggle. So I am saying no. Look at this. ALMU popped up, popping right back down. On the 5-minute chart, it's got this topping tail. I'm just going to look at RCT because it keeps coming up. And I know the float is too high for me, but it has had, well, not now, but it had pretty clean price action earlier in the day, which is really nice. But now look at this. It's below the 9 EMA, below the 20 EMA. It's tapping VWAP, but look at that big red candle. Ooh. Is anyone thinking about trading anything that's popped up yet? I'm gonna stick with my 3 strikes you're out today because like if the market was hot and I had 3 red trades in a row and I had settled funds left, which I have some left, I would keep going. But I think it would be just foolhardy at this point. Now it's in my head, right? Now it's in my head and there just doesn't feel like enough movement to really sustain things. I mean, RECT and RCT had good total volume today. SKYQ. Nope. Yeah. I mean, this is how it goes, right? You just sit and watch and look for opportunities to pop up. So I've been setting a weekly goal, and my weekly goal this week was to work on my micro pullback setups. However, I'm not sure that was such a great goal to choose because it's difficult to really work on it. I have to wait for a micro pullback opportunity. So look, it's popping up over the 9 EMA, but the MACD is still red. So I wouldn't get in there. That's RECT. RESPECT. So I'm realizing how difficult that's going to be to execute because I can't make those setups appear. BATL. Oh, MACD's red, way below VWAP. All right. RECT is the only thing that looks like it's climbing itself out of this hole. The MACD just turned green again. But I have been burned by you, RECT. Don't tempt me, you temptress. I'm holding strong because, yes, I don't feel it today. And I read in a self-help book once that wisdom is the intersection of the logic plus intuition. And I do believe you need to use intuition when you're trading, but intuition is something that is gained from experience, not from like out in the ether. I feel like you build intuition by using logic, collecting data, and through experience, that's where you develop that intuition. And I feel like between intuition and logic, yeah, that I really agree with that. That is the perfect that's the perfect marriage of logic and intuition. And my intuition today is telling me that I'm going to end up in the poorhouse if I keep trading. Now, honestly, this is not even close to my worst trading day. Like, I can't even tell you. I have had some horrific trading days over the last year. This isn't even close. This doesn't hold a candle to my worst trading day. Okay, I have had way worse losses. And the reason why this isn't even close to that is because I am getting out at my stop. I'm getting out at my stop every single time. And I've been doing that for 2 weeks now. And regardless of what my intuition is saying, I'm getting out at my stop every single time. And that is making a big difference. My accuracy is worse. And I'm wondering if that's why, but I'm controlling my losses. I think this otherwise would have been a bloodbath in terms of results. So I think I'm going to trust my intuition today and say, yes. I mean, look, RECT popped up. Now it's kind of pulling back again. All right. Keeps tapping this level, right? This area, 214, 215. And the 200 SMA is at $2.53. So that's acting as resistance for sure. RCT is just, look at that. Now, I wouldn't have taken this because the MACD is red and the float is high for me, but there's a ton of activity on RCT. Look at this. Look at how deep the level 2 is. And look at the green on the tape, on the time and sales. So this is why you have to watch the charts. Even if you're not trading, you have to watch, spend time watching, because this is so valuable. You can see, look, oh, I just saw an order on the ask for 23,000. It went away. Look at this. The activity is just crazy. So now if I were going to trade again, the MACD is green and we've got a pull forming here, a potential pull for a bull flag pullback, which is the only setup I would trade if I were going to take another one, but I'm not. And I had said I would work on my micro pullbacks, but that is definitely my second choice after the bull flag pullback. However, I noticed that I see it a lot. I did take a lot of micro pullback trades over the last month. So my goal this week was to improve it. I am curious, does anyone here trade micro pullbacks? Very curious. Yeah, I would love to know that. And if you do, how successful are you at that? All right, let's see, RECT. Oh, RECT is now below VWAP or struggling. So I would not take this trade. MACD is red. There's still a ton of activity on RECT. People are jumping in. RCT, look at this. So let's see. The 200 SMA is at 154. Someone over here thinks it's going to go up to 169. Maybe because, why? Is there a win? Maybe because here, this window, they think it's going to go up to this level right here. They're going by this window. Maybe there's somebody that we're holding for a long time. Oh, they popped off. All right. And then look at this. Now, when I see all of these orders for 100 shares at the same price, oh, look at this. Because it's breaking out, all these orders popped up. Look at that. So 154 is the 200 SMA, right? No. Oh, wait, no. It's way up here at 157. Okay, so, oh, it halted. I didn't even see that. So for those of you who want to, I mean, I don't know how familiar with halts you are, but if you look on, NASDAQ Trader's website, okay, you can pull up NASDAQtrader.com. They have current trading halts, and you can see that RCT halted. It will give you the halt time, but it doesn't give you the resumption trade time. And LUDP is a volatility halt. So we don't know if it's going to be a 5-minute halt or a 10-minute halt, but interesting. It halted going up. I have traded into halts before, but I really stay away from that now. I think that is an intermediate and advanced trading move. And I've tried it and I've had really mixed results. And I think that's because I was trying it too early on I'm going to reserve trading into halts and out of halts for when I have more experience. But, you know, I think it's interesting because, let's see. So here you can see RCT. So it halted right before 9:42. So right before 9:47, it's going to come back online if it's only a 5-minute halt. And I do find that really interesting. Let me try something else. Let's see. No, I guess that won't work. Okay. So BBGI. Oh, I had good luck on that one the other day, but it doesn't look like it has news, and it has low relative volume. Okay. I'm really interested what's going to happen with RCT when the halt, when trading resumes. Oh, okay. 137. Yeah. Yep. Okay. 137. See, I can't see on Thinkorswim, I can't see the resumption price. So, okay. Yeah. Because right now it halted what at 139. But look at how crazy it looks a bit in the ask. Thanks, James. That's good information to know. I wonder if Webull shows resumption prices. I know like Ross Cameron, he uses Lightspeed and it shows that information. That's what happens when you pay for, you know, he's paying commissions for a platform, trading platform that's really for advanced traders, right? I'm using a platform that is commission free, so it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. I mean, it has a lot, but it doesn't have everything that an advanced trader would want. Okay, so now we're coming up again to, if it's only a 5-minute halt, then we would be coming up to resumption time. I think it was, let me check real quick. 9:41:58. So 9:46:58. I'm just really curious what is going to happen when the price resumes. Yeah, so if 137 is bearish, let's see what happens. Does it jackknife down? What do you think? I think it might. Okay. Okay, Webull shows it, but you have to pay extra. Okay. Here we go. And all right, let's see. It dropped quickly. Spiked down. Is it going to pop back up? Well, it's definitely not driving higher. That's for sure. It didn't immediately drive higher. Like I said, I'm not an expert at halts. However, I have seen them sort of do a micro pullback and then drive higher. And this, oh my. Oh, what? Look at that. Holy smokes. Wow. Is it going to get, and it did, it got halted on the way down. What? All right, we have like a very dramatic turn of events here on at the opening. We had a halt up and now we have a halt going down, but look at that jackknife. So let's go back to NASDAQ Trader. Okay, and it says here, RCT. Oh, wait, do I have to refresh this? Here we go. RCT, it halted at 9:47 and 55 seconds. Again, a volatility halt. So if, you know, I am definitely not a halt expert. I've taken Warrior Trading's classes on halt, and I have tried trading halts. I think it was too soon in my trading journey to do that. Definitely teleported. And however, I don't like getting caught in halts. Oof, don't like it. Okay, but if you're new to the idea of halts, okay, then there are these reason codes. So each halt is assigned a code. And LUDP, I can't remember exactly what that acronym stands for, but it's essentially a volatility halt. And you can look up the codes. If you just Google, trading halt codes, it will tell you. And this just keeps a running. So on NASDAQ, trader.com, it will give you the resumption time, but afterwards. So we don't know, is this a 5-minute halt or a 10-minute halt? Sometimes they increase the amount of time with each halt to kind of 1:15. Resumption is 1:15. So let's look at that. Resumption is 1:15. Oh, okay. So that's below where it stopped out, where it halted. So that seems bad. And again, I'm not a halt expert. I really think people should. I tried halts way too soon. I got excited and I really lost my short on a couple of trades on halts. I really think this is like an intermediate to advanced trader move. So if you're new, just stay out of it until you really, really understand it. Because like I said, I've taken Warrior Trading's classes on it and I've traded in halts with mixed results, and it can go badly so quickly. It's scary. As you can see, right? Everybody just took profit off the table, drove the price down. Everyone just, it was like a bloodbath of selling. So wait, let me check the halt time again. Halted at 9:41 and 58 seconds. So we're looking at 9:40. Wait, no, that was the other halt. Sorry. That was the old halt. 9:47:55. So it's 9:52:55. 9:52:55. So let's see what happens. RECT, I think, is making moves. Yes, it broke out. If you traded RECT, good for you. I lost $10 on it earlier in the pre-market, but if you actually just made money on RECT, yay. If you were patient and watching RECT and you made money, I am so happy for you, because you could have got 30 cents a share on that. And, I wouldn't have bought here because the MACD was red. But if you kind of waited for this micro pullback and then got in and went higher, I am super happy for you. All right, let's go back and look at RCT, because I really want to see what happens on this halt resumption. Sometimes I feel like it's like the arc of a story. So let's take a look and see what happens. But yeah, I would say if you're new, stay out of halts if you can. Sometimes you can't help it, right? You're in a gap and go, it's running up and it halts. There are charts that you can find online. I know Ross Cameron put them in his classes where it shows like for this price, this is the length or when it will halt and all of that. I think if it's a 5-minute halt, it's about to resume. So let's see what happens. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. And it did go down. Yeah, 115. It's below VWAP. Look at 11,000. I'm looking at the ask. I'm looking at the top of the ask. I keep seeing, 12,000, 25,000, 26,000, 25,000. There's big sellers on the ask. So people are putting big orders to sell on the ask. All right, they're trying to get rid of it. And I don't see anyone buying because the price is hovering down here right below VWAP. Oh, I feel bad for people that got stuck in this halt going down. I feel bad for that. But if you got some of this, and it halted too. RECT halted. Okay, so RECT, let's go back and look at our RECT halted. Was that just now? Let's see. RECT halted. So 9:51 and no, 9:51 and 37 seconds. So 9:56. So RECT halted. If you got stuck in that, I hope it goes your way. Hola. Buenos dias. All right. If you got stuck in this halt, I hope it goes your way. On Trader, NASDAQtrader.com. It's a volatility halt. See, there are these other codes, T1, T2, T3. Sometimes the halts are for like news coming out. That's not great. But a volatility halt might resume. So we're looking for 9:56. So I will stay on till 10, but I want to see what happens with RECT. What happened to RCT? It fell off my list. RCT. Let's see. RCT. RCT. Yep. It just, after this, the halt up and the halt down, it just didn't break above VWAP. Okay. But now RECT. These have been the two stories of the day. Okay. These have been the two stories of the day. I see ROLR. ROLR. Whoops. ROLR. Now it looks like things are kind of, there's more activity now. ROLR. Let's see. But it doesn't, I don't see breaking news. I don't love the gap. I don't see breaking news on ROLR. But I want to see what happens to RECT on resumption. And, no bueno. Yeah, sir. 3 red trades, so I'm out for the rest of the day. 3 red trades. Yeah, I will go over them in my recap later, but all right, RECT resumed, gapped up on the resumption of the halt, but it's kind of struggling up here. Look at this. Some people think it's going to go all the way up to over $3 a share. It's flying up. It is flying up. So I hope for those of you still trading that you're on the right side of this one. Yeah, it's okay. This is what happens. It's the trading game. So, this is exciting though to watch these halts, because since I started live streaming like a little over a week ago, I haven't had any halts pop up for some reason, at least on my scanners. But RECT is definitely providing some excitement this morning. And if I were going to keep trading, I might try to get in on that action. But are any of you getting in on it? I hope you made money on it. Look at that. From here to here, we're talking 70 cents a share. Beautiful. 70 cents a share. All right, it's pulling back. I mean, this had good news this morning, so I'm not super surprised. But I had this red trade on it in the pre-market, so because it did meet all my pillars, all my criteria for stock selection, and I was looking for that breakout, but so I traded it back here. got in a little too late. I was looking for a breakout of this. I got in a little too late. It turned over and I got out red. All right. Pull back. I'm kind of curious if this is going to go higher. Let's see. Nope. I'm watching the level 2. Lots of action, lots of volume. This would be the top of the low candle. This has potential to be a bull flag. Look at this. This is the pull. The volume's pulling back, right? This is potentially a bull flag pullback setup. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to drive up. People have confidence in it. Look at this. People have some confidence that it's going to break $3 a share. It is over the 200 SMA. So now that would be support at 243. Okay. It's pulling back. It's pulling back. I think we have a potential bull flag breakout here. It's pulling back on the 5-minute as well. Look at the volume drop here on the 5-minute. I do think this has potential. I would like to see it touch the 9 EMA, but what do I have on the, do I have it on the 10-minute? Yeah, I do. I mean on the 10-second. Yep. So on the 10-second, here we go. Let me fix the view in the 10-second. On the 10-second, it's pulling back. Looks like it's breaking out a little bit. Oh. It's just tapping the 9 EMA. I know I said I would get off at 10, but I want to watch how this plays out. Sorry. I love watching this, so I want to watch how it plays out. It's dropping below the 9 EMA. And even when I'm not trading, I really want to see how things play out. So if high of day is 277, this has potential, but now it's dropping below the 9 EMA. So this could end up being a pullback on the 5-minute chart. Let's see what this candle does. Okay, because, oh, this looks like another low candle. So if it pulls back all the way to the 20 EMA on the 1-minute chart, that is probably a pullback on the 5-minute chart, right? And let's see. Okay. Let's watch it. Let's watch it. All right. So it hasn't really gone much lower. It stopped right out at the 9 EMA. Let's see, are there big sellers on the level 2? I don't see big sellers on the level 2. And we are breaking. It started to break out, but I don't really see the volume driving up on this candle. Look at the volume here. It's still low. So is this a real breakout or a false breakout? Let's see. Well, if you got in right there, I hope it's a real one. So it's hovering, it's hovering. This candle, see how this candle didn't go above this candle? I want to see this candle go up more before I get in. That's the mistake I've been making repeatedly. But then earlier today, I think I got in too late. So I think this might be a false breakout. Yep. We didn't have confirmation with the volume bar. So now, yep, we're still pulling back. I don't know. I think if it breaks over 249, 250, so this 250, that could be resistance at the $0.50. If it breaks over 250, I think it's going to shoot up. And I think other people think so too, because look, well, I don't know. Oh, look at this. Nope. Someone thinks it's going to break up to break over 250, but now it's dropping more. So it's continuing to pull back. So this was a false breakout. And it's continuing to pull back. So now it's below the 9 EMA, and it's heading towards the 20 EMA. So if you are a trader that trades on the 5-minute chart, this is a bull flag forming on that 5-minute chart. And this is what you would be looking for, right? That's what you would be looking for. You'd be looking for exactly this if you're someone that trades on the 5-minute chart. All right. And we would be looking for a candle to tap the 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart and then break out. But I have traded on the 5-minute chart. I just mostly use it for confirmation. And if we look at the 10-second chart, I have to move it. All right, so it's popping down even further. It's just stair-stepping down. And I believe it's going to touch that 20 EMA. Now look at that. It's touching it, but there's some indecision. And on the 5-minute chart, it's touching the 9 EMA. So I think this is a potential now, but now the MACD is slightly red. See that? So I wouldn't want to get in, but it might flip green if this candle flips. All right. So guys, yes, I had a red day today. Super bummer. Wait, I gotta get rid of this. All right, I had a red day today. Yes, it's a bummer. I will be explaining what happened in my recap, my daily recap later. And thank you so much for watching. I will check in with you guys. I'll be here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and I'll see you then. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Okay. Good luck trading and trade smart.